We are so pleased to welcome you to the Women in the Arts and Media Coalition's second Conversations in America. This one is called 2020 Vision, the year we saw everything. We're so glad you're here with us tonight. You may not know it, but most of you are members of Women in the Arts and Media Coalition. If you're a member of any of the unions, guilds, and organizations who are members of the coalition, you are a member. They pay the dues, you get the benefits. That includes, in alphabetical order, Actors Equity Association, Associated Musicians of Greater New York Local 802 of AFM, the Dramatists Guild, the League of Professional Theater Women, New York Women in Communications, New York Women in Film and Television, SAG-AFTRA, the Society of Stage Directors and Choreographers, and Writers Guild of America East. You can check our website for our affiliate member organizations. For over 25 years, the Women in the Arts and Media Coalition has fostered our own brand of collaboration, combining our member organizations' abilities and strengths, focusing on issues of concern to women in the arts and media. We are committed to being the link between our member organizations as we collaborate to empower women in our industry through advocacy, mentoring, networking, and events.
You may know about us from our website, from our stage ops and screen ops newsletters, highlighting submission opportunities in theater, film, television, and new media, and from our pages of funding resources, COVID resources, and gender parity studies, all compiled with the support and contributions of Women Arts. Speaking of which, we want to thank two gold sponsors for today's events, Women Arts and SAG-AFTRA. We couldn't have done this without you. You might also know us from our signature events, the Collaboration Awards, encouraging and rewarding women who work collaboratively with women of different disciplines to create a new arts or media project, Vintage, celebrating the voice and vision of women aging in our industries and honoring one woman with the Elsa Rail Vintage Advocacy Award, and our newest signature event, Conversations in America, created by board member Holly Harms, who also led the curation team for today's event. From gender bias to intersectional diversity, to ageism, to working in new media, the coalition networks and connects individuals and entire organizations to share information, sponsor events, and facilitate actions that nurture the voices and visions of women.
2020 vision. Isn't it a little late, you might ask? It's 2022. New times, new problems, lots of them. Well, we say, isn't it always easier to have 2020 vision in hindsight? Just as we will understand better all that's going on right now, a year or two into the future, we can understand what we all went through in 2020 better now with the 2020 vision of hindsight. Submissions came in last year from around the country on our theme, and the curating team worked hard to pick the pieces that make up today's program. There are many thank yous in the final credits and in the program, which is posted in the chat. Please read them, make note of them. We also want to acknowledge the wonderful women who run our organization, the board of organization representatives, and our volunteers and committees If you're interested in getting more involved with the coalition, please reach out to us through our email or on our website. We're going to keep posting throughout the event our contact information, today's hashtags and handles, so you can share your thoughts and feelings on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and more about all these incredible pieces. And if you enjoyed today's program, please consider giving a donation, however large or small, to this event and to the ongoing work of the coalition, as we find the best way to move forward out of the pandemic. All of our member organizations and all of our members have suffered greatly over the last 2 years. This event is part of our ongoing efforts to find ways to continue bringing our members together and providing services to you all as we turn our frustrations and discoveries into art. And now, the show.
2020 vision. What is that? I've never had that. For as long as I remember, I have been straining to see. Without my glasses, I can hardly see, or lenses. If you look into my eyes right now, you can see the reflection of myself and the couch in my room and the glass front door, and through the door, the Sangre de Cristo Mountains, which I wake to every day and sleep with. For as long as I remember, I have been straining to see, and this year of pandemic, of protest, of color, I am tired of straining to see. I want to stop. I want to stop. I want it not to matter that the fridge just came on and is spoiling the sound. I want to enjoy the eyes that I cannot see without my glasses. I want to enjoy the right and the left, the up and the down, the circle. And this circle especially that goes and comes here. Am I blinking? I wonder. Too much? I wonder. This year, I am tired of straining to see. I want to let my eyes surrender to everything that I feel, knowing that I am not only I. I feel there are other people out there who in this time of bright, bright light, everyone urging us to step forward into our light, everyone, including we ourselves, I have said that to myself, step forward into the bright light. But in my name, there is the word Shub. Shub means night. And I choose the night. I choose my level of decibel, how loud I want my sound, how bright the light I want to step forward in and speak my indigenousness. In this year, I see the way forward as the way back, the way down, the way up. In this year, I see scenes from old Hindi films where someone stands at the edge of a cliff and speaks to the beloved and says, Aja, come here. Her singing matters. Aja, 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 Aja. Her singing matters. Her standing matters. The edge of the cliff matters. May we walk forward into the night we choose and the light we choose. May we be graceful in allowing what is true to rise and set, and may the straining soften into surrender.
Moon's on the wane, so is hope. Now that we've reached the great divide, and I must confess, with all the noise and clever ploys around me now, I have not raised my voice. Silence has been my choice. I measured out, weighed my words, wouldn't want to be unkind. I did not rock the boat, but what I see and what I know to be true, they're telling me that I should just ignore. So I can't be silent anymore. Because equal means equal. Violence should not stand. Children should have enough to eat. Justice should be blind. Compassion should happen all the time. And racism needs to be called out. There are no alternate truths. Yes, silence is not golden. Silence is not golden. Silence is not golden. Silence is not golden. It's not golden. No, silence is not golden. Silence is not golden. Silence is not golden. The moon's on the wane, so is hope. Now that we've reached the great divide.
Do you want any ice cream? I'm eating ice cream.
No. How can you eat at a time like this?
He had nothing to do with it.
How can you say that?
It was just a bunch of crazy people.
And where do you think they got that idea? I mean, seriously.
Network, Facebook, Instagram.
Okay, so you think that all the white supremacists, neo-Nazis, and haters got together and came up with this, that they weren't inspired, that they weren't given permission to crawl out from under their rock? You're very special. We love you. It was violence. People died. And besides all that, the whole thing was a huge super spreader. Come on up to the Capitol, folks. Get your COVID here, folks. Did you see that guy with the Confederate flag?
What?
Oh yeah, there's a guy with a huge Confederate flag.
No, I did not see that. Half my family's from the South.
I thought you were from New Jersey.
I am.
I can't live here anymore.
And where are you gonna go? Canada?
No, I mean here with you.
What are you talking about?
I don't understand why you can't see what's happening. How you cannot see what's been going on for 4 years. And you're the one who's been so hypervigilant about mask wearing.
Oh my God, I haven't been out since November.
And you think that he cares about people dying from this or from COVID?
You know, he's done a lot to improve this country.
Oh my God.
He did some prison reform bill. I think it changed the laws about sentencing and release,
Meanwhile,
helped a lot
separating
of
parents
people.
from their children at the border. I gotta get out of here.
Where are you going?
I mean, seriously, I can't live with a person who thinks this way, who's entirely influenced by right-wing extremists.
I am a moderate Republican.
Not if you believe that he had nothing to do with the insurrection.
Do you have a place to go?
No. I'll figure it out.
You're really leaving because of this.
Your ideas are toxic to me. I'm clenched up all the time. My stomach is killing me. I can't digest anymore. Food just sits there in a lump. There's enough awful stuff in the world without having to hear it where I live.
I like Amy Klobuchar.
Yeah, I like her too.
Do you like Mitt Romney? He's very handsome.
Yeah, he is.
He has 25 grandchildren.
He believes in the truth. He voted to impeach the first time around.
You think there's going to be a second time around?
Now, how long do you allow a poisonous brain to run rampant, ruining our country? When do you say stop? When do you say enough?
Are you sure you don't want any ice cream?
I'm sure.
It's chocolate chip.
I know.
It's getting all melty the way you like it. It's the middle of winter. COVID cases are up. Are you really moving out?
Maybe.
I am short, black, a woman, fat, PHAT, taking my power back. I am the real-life documentary to the fictional story you tell about me, marginalized by many, favored by the Most High. I am Nina's tan, sweet thing. I am the girl with the broken smile, and she will be. I am somebody. I am down in the Delta, singing the sound of music. I am backwoods and inner city. I am gospel and Mozart. I am collard greens and pork chops, and a veggie burger if I like. I am tropical and temporal, tolerant, and a token not. I breathe the fresh oxygen-tanked air of freedom in a toxic world. Keeping me alive. I am the granddaughter of a sharecropper, a single teenage mother, a project living, government cheese eating, crystal drinking, educated, the only one in the room representing my peoples. I am Ebonics and the Queen's English. I am duality in spades. Read me, feel me, breathe me in, brothers and sisters of the universe, for the 23 in me of thee I see. For I am the Irishman, potato poor and dying to break free. I am the Frenchman in a miserable revolution. I am the Englishman seeking religious freedom. I am the Nigerian mother of the market, fighting racial and social injustice and genocide. I am that Gold Coast baby snatched across the Atlantic, my master's pleasure. Me too. We too. Shoot me down, but I won't fall. I am all the metals, resilient and strong. I am Lady Liberty in the sea, raising a hand for freedom. I am smart, kind, important. Not the help, but here to help. I am phenomenal, gorgeous, inside and out. My complexity meets the best in me, and I am doing.
I was shutting down my dating apps when I saw that we matched. We started to chat, though we knew we shouldn't get too attached. Now my heart's skipping a beat, how I wish we could meet, but that wouldn't be too smart. I'm declaring a state of emergency in my heart. 'Cause it's love in the time of Corona. Love in the time of Corona. It's love in the time of Corona. Love in the time of Corona. It's love in the time of Corona. Oh, no, oh, no. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can hardly breathe when I see your face light up on the screen. My temperature spikes when I hear your voice, or is it COVID-19? Could I see you today if we stay 6 feet away, wearing masks like Halloween? But we should stay where it's safe and watch Netflix or deep clean. 'Cause it's love in the time of Corona. Love in the time of Corona. It's love in the time of Corona. Love in the time of Corona. It's love in the time of Corona. Oh, no, oh, no. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I didn't expect to fall in love, but what can I do? Before I knew it, I came down with a case of you. It happened so fast, how long will it last? Could we give this thing a shot? 'Cause there is no cure for the feelings that I've got. 'Cause it's love in the time of Corona. Love in the time of Corona. It's love in the time of Corona. Love in the time of Corona. Yeah, it's love in the time of Corona. Love in the time of Corona. It's love in the time of Corona. Love in the time of Corona. It's love in the time of Corona. Oh, no, oh, no. Uh-oh, we can go the distance if you keep your social distance. It's love in the time of Corona. Love in the time of Corona. It's love in the time of Corona. Oh, no, oh, no. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Ugh. Oh, God. Okay. Fuck! What the fuck? Where is she? What is wrong with these people? No! Don't you dare tell me how important my call is to you. Next available representative. I was on with a representative. Hello? Takesha, is that you? I can't hear you. You're breaking up.
Hello? Hello? Shit.
I'm sorry, ma'am. It's Takesha. I'm back.
Oh, thank God. I was afraid they were going to give me to someone else and I'd have to start all over again.
No, I'm back.
Oh, oh. What happened? Where did you go?
I'm sorry. I was helping another Zoom customer.
What? I was on hold for 10 minutes waiting for the next available representative. That's you. You're supposed to be helping me now, just me.
I'm sorry, ma'am. And I appreciate your patience. You know, Mercury is in retrograde and
I know Mercury is in retrograde, but you're a corporation. You can't use that as an excuse.
it's not official company policy, ma'am, but between you and me, it's very powerful influence.
I know it is. My Spectrum went out last week. Then a day later, I couldn't stream Hamilton from Safari until I went it all over again on Chrome. And this after being on chat with a moron who kept telling me, clean your cache. What the fuck is a cache anyway? Excuse me, please don't hang up on me. You see, I have a Mac, a new one, and this guy's using language for PCs from the days of MS-DOS. Clean your cache. That's what they say when they don't know what to say and are afraid of getting a bad evaluation. But your Zoom.
On behalf of Zoom, ma'am, I'm very sorry. And I'll do my best to sort out whatever problems you're encountering. You know, we're a small company and now have millions and millions of customers.
I'm sure you're over capacity, but you're the ICU for our sanity. You can't break down. Look, yesterday I had to try 3 times, 3, to get into my Zoom writing group meeting.
Ma'am, are you new to Zoom?
I'm not new to Zoom. Well, I never heard of it before March 15th, but now I use it every day. My entire life is on Zoom. Without it, I have nothing. I am nothing. Takesha, I've been alone in this apartment for 4 months. I'm going crazy. My cats are going crazy. So I know that when the dialogue box says enter Zoom, you click on it, but it kept spinning and spinning and spinning, and enter Zoom never appeared. I had to call the host, interrupt her writing to send me a new Zoom code. You don't interrupt another writer's flow. That's bad etiquette.
Did you eventually get in?
Finally.
I'm so glad.
Yes, but on the 4th try. I was panting by the time I did, and I had time restraints. I had another meeting at 3.
And what was that, if you don't mind?
Therapy, if you must know. Well, we use Google Duo since it's just the 2 of us.
And how is that, Google Duo?
It's okay.
Have you considered using Zoom?
No, for Christ's sake, I'm calling you to complain about Zoom. And there's more. In yoga class last Saturday, the teacher's voice started breaking up, and then she completely froze. And we're supposed to stay in the Om zone when she's frozen. You forfeit your serenity, and that's why I'm there.
Ma'am, I'm very sorry you had these issues. You might consider an upgrade to your service.
An upgrade? If you think Mercury in retrograde is causing this, why should I upgrade? It'll be over in 3 weeks.
4, ma'am.
Okay, 4.
Ma'am, as one human being to another, we both understand that times are hard and tempers short. There's so much uncertainty.
Yes, Takesha, there is.
All we have is here now, so we might as well find joy where we can.
I guess.
And speaking of that, ma'am, you said something before, and I didn't quite catch your drift.
What was that?
Something about trying to stream Hamilton. What is that?
Hamilton? It's a Broadway musical about Alexander Hamilton and the beginnings of America. It's the biggest hit on Broadway. And of course, it closed because of the pandemic. Takesha, all the theaters in the world closed. This is a great tragedy.
I'm sure it is. I never seen a Broadway show.
Oh, that's terrible.
Eh?
But you can stream Hamilton on Disney Plus. They filmed the Broadway production. It's as if you had an orchestra seat, and even without paying scalpers prices, that would be over $200.
Well, you have to pay for streaming, don't you?
Well, yes, but you can sign up for Disney Plus, which is only $6.99 a month.
Oh, ma'am, I can't do that. I need that money. If I can't get back to the food bank, I have 3 little kids. Can't you can hear the two-year-old fussing right now. Shh, baby, mama's right here. Yeah. And I'm on minimum wage. Matter of fact, Zoom might fire me if they're listening in on this call.
Oh, Takesha, I had no idea. Listen, you just sign up for 1 month and then cancel. And you can watch it over and over as many times as you like. I've watched it 14 times. It's incredible. It will make you feel so good, even hopeful. You just have to remember to cancel at the end of the month.
I'm going to do that as soon as I get off this call. I'm so glad you called. You were pretty worked up when we started.
I guess I was.
Yeah, that happens to me too sometimes. We all need to try to take things a little more in stride. Don't go with the flow. Breathe in, breathe out. Nothing is worth getting all riled up as if it's life or death. We got plenty, enough already.
We sure do.
And you wear a mask, right?
Of course I do.
Okay. And you do it for your health and well-being. So we need to relax for the same reasons. No one's going anywhere. There's nowhere to go.
I know. I guess that's the problem. Oh, Takesha, it's so easy to talk to you. It's crazy. Now that I have all this time, I'm in race mode more than I was driving on the fucking, oh, please, please, please don't hang up on me, fucking freeway to get to yoga, to French class, to therapy, and my writing groups. I'll try to relax. I really will.
All right now. So glad to be of service. Ma'am, will you please take a few moments to fill out that little evaluation we're going to send you?
Of course I will. And I'll consider upgrading. You've been so helpful.
I'm so glad. And you have a good day, ma'am.
I will. Thank you. Bye, Takesha.
Bye. Bye-bye.
What just happened?
Charlotte, wait, need to speak with you. Wait, Charlotte, you are racing away. Stop, please.
Not now, Alina. I'm in a hurry.
2 minutes. 2 minutes. I need to tell you something.
I can't right now.
The church, my church, they cancel wedding. They say too many peoples. I am so mad. I cannot believe it.
I'm sorry to hear that, but I have to go.
They say 200 people too many. My sister is crying all the time, crying. But she will get married anyhow.
That's good. She'll get married.
Yes, because this is so stupid. They cancel, they say, because of virus. There is no virus. No one is sick. No one is dying. It's all a joke.
That's what you think?
That is what I know. And now my sister, my baby sister, has to cancel big party. It's crazy. But we will have party anyway. We have here, I want to tell you, in the back, we will have party.
Here? At your house? 200 people?
Well, maybe we take some off list, some of Groom's guests. But yes, here in the back, we decorate, make pretty. My cousin does cooking, catering. It will be fun. You come, you bring a husband, and you will see what fun we have at weddings.
When are you doing this?
End of month. Want to let you know. It will be loud, most likely. Dancing, fun, great food. So I want you to
I
come.
really have to go, Alina.
No, but you come, yes? You will not have to wear a mask. We want everyone have good time. To eat and drink, no dumb masks.
But all those people in your backyard, that's what they call a super spreader. That's exactly why this virus is still going on. We can't contain it if people like you continue to ignore the fact that there is a global pandemic.
People like me? What does that mean?
Alina, you just said you think this whole thing is a hoax. Let me tell you, it's not. It's absolutely not. People are getting very sick. People are dying.
Ooh, who is dying? No one I know. And I know many people. And we have the parties many times after church, and we hug and kiss, and my family is all fine, healthy. And we will have our wedding. My baby sister deserves to have a big party to celebrate. Every girl deserves big wedding.
Fine. Have your party. I hope for your sake your family stays healthy. I seriously doubt it. Eventually, it's bound to happen.
What is bound to happen?
Someone in your family will get sick. Someone will get this virus, probably at your big extravagant wedding where everyone will be dancing and singing and not wearing masks.
That is a very cruel thing to say, Charlotte. Maybe it's better if you don't come to party, if you're so nervous about getting made up sickness.
No, I won't be coming. I probably won't even be here this weekend.
You will leave just to avoid my party?
I will leave to avoid all the people that will be here and be potentially spreading germs.
Are you hypochondriac? Is that the word? You think you are sick when you're not?
I know I'm not sick, not yet anyway, but I may be contagious right now. Who knows?
You're trying to scare me?
I wish that were true, but no, I'm not trying to scare you. I'm telling you the truth.
The truth? What truth? You think you have some made-up virus?
I don't know. I don't have symptoms now, but I could very likely have it, yes.
How? How were you exposed?
My husband.
Oh, sure. Your husband is sick now?
My husband has been sick for 3 weeks.
Why you not say something? Why you not tell me?
Because we've been quarantined like you should be doing.
Why? We are fine. Why should we stay locked up in our houses when we are plenty healthy? How is husband now? You want me to bring some soup?
My husband died this morning.
Oh, ambulance. Early this morning, that was for you? I mean, for him?
Yes.
Oh, he's such a young man. Heart attack.
No, Alina, that is what I'm trying to tell you, not a heart attack.
What then? What kills such a nice young man?
COVID-19, coronavirus. He's been sick for the past 3 weeks. We thought he was getting better. Last night, he couldn't breathe. I couldn't be with him at the hospital. They wouldn't let me in. It all happened so quickly.
What can I do? I want to help.
Don't! Step back 6 feet. Don't you understand what's happening? This is no joke. My husband is dead and this virus is real. He's gone. He's really gone. What am I going to do? What is happening in this world?
I parade. I prance. Display my shaker to the money makers who look and buy. They smile, I smile. I cry, they smile. I hate, they smile. I smile. It's easier that way. To them, I'm easy, sleazy, measly, little or nothing, dust and a tidbit, a snack on the way to work and back. Nothing but a grimy hoe. Nothing but a grimy hoe. We meet at his time, our time, at cocktail hour, all hours. Coffee breaks, morning workouts, dog walking. He's shy. He's nervous. He's mean. He's fat. He's ugly. He's stupid. He's sick. He's hot. He's too young. He's too old. Moldy, cold fish, beast baker, beer maker. Cupcake, honey buns, milkshake. We're food product. He's got names for every part of our body, like a butchered cow. He's got names for our bodies he makes up as he goes along with the bros who thank grandma for cookies, mom for soup, and us for being hoes. Names pour out of their mouths like faucet water, congratulating themselves with slap backs and high fives, gliding into hyena smirks. Those smirks making a girl want to lacerate, annihilate, decapitate. But no, we evaporate our rage into a wink and a nod with as much impact as a plate of mustard. Want a date? Yeah, it makes them feel manly, virile, in sync until they're alone with us, uncomfortable, lonely, shy, unloved, anxious, strange, grabbing at things they'll never own, pressing against painted mirrors they will never feel, reaching out for something they'll never find, leaving with pockets empty, heads down, hearts dark, a lost boy, a big man, a trick in the night. They'll be back. Tent behind him, waiting on phones, in cars, in line, hotels with full tilt boogie service. Concierges turn a blind eye and recommend the Sauvignon Blanc in 209 as doormen slide 5 in the pocket. Thanks, man. Quota made, every day, 365. Daddy rich, baby girl 0. It's a boy's game, a man's world. Sinners sin and make amends to wives and girlfriends, mothers and daughters. Flowers arrive at doors, smelling of excuses for late night returns, apologies all around, vows of everlasting love. Woman, deal with it. And we're the whores.
Different. This will be different tomorrow. Who am I kidding? I must be kidding. I'll clean the bathroom tomorrow. Me and my clever stuck here darling. Christmas is coming tomorrow. Be who you need to, do what you have to, break what you want to tomorrow. Tell me the ending, spare the pretending. Time's all I'm spending tomorrow. And all of you fucks can go. All of you fucks can go. All of you fucks can go. Fuck the fuck off. Lazy resisting, endlessly listing boxes of people cut to the sequel. And all of you fucks can go. Fuck the fuck off. Tomorrow.
Before I was sexually abused, I was an innocent beauty and truth seeker, like Little Red Riding Hood, who strayed from the path because a seemingly friendly wolf tricked her into it. The flowers off the path of this side of the road were just too pretty. So I became numb to the innocent things in life. Not even the flowers were my friend. I remember lying next to Wolf in the dark, tortured inside, but I thought at least I could confide in him. I had no one else. I really wish we could go back to being student and teacher, I told him. I don't know. I just haven't really been feeling like myself since everything happened. He looked at me and very logically responded, "Our connection was so deep that neither of us would have been simplified and satisfied had we just remained student and teacher. The pull was just too intense. Neither of us could help it." And of my lost innocence, he just responded, "Well, I think it's time that you grow up. It would have happened sooner or later. Your home has this enchanted air of a never land, like the boys who never grow up, right?" I didn't know what to say. It's my home. I didn't know what to think. Bit my lip not to feel anything. No point. There was no one who I could tell who would understand, so why bother? I turned off my feelers, my emotional radar, just to save myself from the wolf. Little Red grew up with no one there to grieve with over her lost innocence. Now I'm all grown up, right? Right? I'm numb. I'm weary. My innocence is lost in the world. Is that what you meant? Is that how I leave Neverland and become a responsible adult? Now I'm grounded like you always said I needed to be. Not grounded, I'm stuck. You stole that magic in the flowers. And there was nothing wrong with it. What did you think you were doing? Did you really think I had to lose my innocence so early? Or did you know that you had just made a major mistake with your rabid wolf fangs? It caused a major calamity, and now you were just busting your ass with your wimp tail, trying to cover it up? The flower from the path is always the prettiest one. It's a beauty I've come to hate.
What's your emergency?
Hey, morning, babe. How are you doing?
I'm good. But sometimes I wish I could stay home like the rest of the world. But you know I love being a nurse.
Yeah. Just, take care of yourself, okay? And don't forget to call on your break.
Alright, I better get going.
Okay. Just remember to be safe. And call me when you can. I'll be home all day.
You keep calling this the Chinese virus. There are reports of dozens of incidents of bias against Chinese Americans in this country. Your own aide, Secretary.
Lan, I just saw the photo of your car. Are you okay?
I'm okay. I was just at the grocery store to get a few things. A lady yelled at me. You and your people brought this coronavirus to this country. Go back to China where you belong. I was in shock and scared. I didn't know what to say. And I went outside. I saw my car was painted by somebody. I'm afraid to go any place alone. Maybe we can start a party system so we can go place together until this all comes down. You're my good friend.
But we have to social distance, so we can't. I really can't risk getting you or anyone sick.
I don't know what to do.
Ethnicity does not cause the virus. Why do you keep using this? A lot of people say it's racist.
It's not racist at all, no, not at all. It comes from China. That's why. It comes from China. I want to be accurate.
China virus.
Are you okay? What happened to you?
I don't know. I must have been hit.
Well, I'm on the phone with 911 and they're on their way. And I ain't going anywhere. I got you.
You feel dirty and alone, unsafe even in your home. Reach on reflex for the phone, put it down again. In your pain I see myself, pushing through a living hell, fighting to escape his smell, but it comes again. Me too, me too. I know just what you're going through. Together we'll stand in our truth. You feel anger, you feel shame. Will you ever be the same? You're complicit, so they claim, beat you down again. They don't hear you when you scream, trapped inside some madman's dream. All your tears can't wash you clean. Down you go again. Me too, me too. I know just what you're going through. Me too, me too. Together we'll stand in our truth. child, safe in their skin. Me too, me too. I know just what you're going through. Me too, me too. Together we'll stand in our truth. Me too, me too.
Ten promising women sitting by the fire. Malika talked about genital mutilation, used to suppress sexual elation. God, it was painful and savagely dire. She often wailed and would many times cry. Not understanding how this action, manipulating men, could glorify. She later caught infection and suddenly died. Now there are nine promising women sitting by the fire. Sue Lin told us of a prostitution ring where they forced her to do all kinds of things, dogs, each other. She cried many a night for her mother. She left us because of shame, but we will remember her and sing her name. Now there are eight promising women sitting by the fire. Autumn told us of her heart's desire in having a large family. But that desire was stilled when evil doctors were thrilled and killed her beautiful babies, 1, 2, 3. She screamed, "I didn't think this could happen to me. So much hurt and pain. I know my life will never be the same." So she ended it. Suicide she did commit. Now there are seven promising women sitting by the fire. A two-way talked about the muck and mire she endured as a slave for hire. From sunup to the next early dawn. She'd shudder for fear to utter a word. So most of her story goes unheard. She passed away from loneliness and decay because selfish men don't care either way. Now there are six promising women sitting by the fire. Satie talked of her desire to remain thin. Being fat was definitely a sin. She wanted to please only him with having a boy-like figure, but women have hips and curves to show. But if you're not in the know, what do you do? He helped her to create her own demise, and she passed away before everyone's eyes. In her body, she couldn't remain, since a walking stick she became before death called her sweet name. Now there are five promising women sitting by the fire. Rosa coughed, wheezed, and then sneezed and cried about all the test products she had tried. She was tested until she turned blue. Then the administrators told her there was nothing they could do. She fell over and was no more. Now, there are only 4. 4 promising women sitting by the fire. We were told by Maria of her husband's desire to know where she goes. He even cut up her clothes to keep her about. She showed us her cuts and bruises by the score. Thank God she doesn't live with him anymore. Society took the kids. Now he claims they aren't even his. Her fainting spells became a plenty. We lost count because there were so many. The last time she fell, hitting her head, the doctor looked at her and pronounced her dead. Now there are 3 promising women sitting by the fire. We noticed Sanita's disfigured face and arms. She said her fiance had brought about this awful harm. There wasn't enough money in her dowry to show, and her elderly parents reacted too slow. Her betrothed doused her with kerosene and oil. In their village, his attempt, no one did foil. As flames to her he did lay, and that's how she got this way. She wasn't long sitting by the fire. Many bad memories when she looked within. All of this brought on by greedy, pimping men. She died, leaving our side. Now there are 2. We have become very few. 2 promising women sitting by the fire. Sally told of episodes where her father rode her until she was sore. He took away her children by the score, selling them into slavery. I marveled at her bravery. But her heart was broken, she did admit. Then it told her it was finally time to quit. She is dead. I just can't get these women out of my head. And now there is only one. Just one promising woman sitting by the fire. What is she to do? She hasn't told her story yet. Please, please remember these stories, lest you may soon forget. Remember when you hear screams, but pay them no mind, thinking this kind of thing goes on all the time. About prostitution, it is old as women, you are told and believe. It's amazing how people are so easily deceived. One promising but lonely woman sitting by the fire. Fear creeps into her mind. She's paranoid and always looks behind. A clue for you. Please, please help when you can by not accepting the brutality of and against a woman. Sit with her, and then you'll know. Her story is our story. Anishik.
No, don't you dare. No, I'm not kidding. Don't you fucking...
Excuse me?
Hang on. What?
That's a bad word.
What?
You said the F word.
Okay.
In front of a small, impressionable child.
I'm kind of on the phone over here.
I'll wait.
By the way, you spelled healing wrong.
Are you sure?
No! Don't drop the price. Trust me, Hello? Hello? Damn it to hell!
swear to God.
That was 2 more bad words. You have a dirty mouth.
What are you doing out here anyway?
Why, do I see my permit, Karen? I'm selling magical healing roots. $20 per root.
No, yeah, I can read. But aren't you, isn't it must be past your bedtime, or?
It's like 4 o'clock.
Listen, I have a lot going on. I don't have time to stand here and...
What?
What?
What do you have going on? You can tell me. Maybe I have a root that can help.
A magical root?
Yeah. What's the trouble?
I'm a flipper.
Neat.
No, not like that. I'm a house flipper.
Oh, boring. Go on.
So anyway, I have a house I'm trying to flip. I sunk every cent I had into it last February. Then...
Were you not watching the news or...
Anyway, and my stupid... Stupid?
Oh yeah, that's a bad one.
Fine. My brilliant ex-boyfriend who dumped me in the middle of the pandemic decided to drop the asking price and...
He sounds like a poo.
Poo isn't a cuss word?
Not if he's being a poo.
Yeah. So, what magical root do you have for something like that? Do you only deal with skinned knees and lost Barbies?
Where's your money?
I'm good for it.
I'll need to see your cash up front.
Okay. I don't have $20.
What do you have?
Nothing. I guess I have nothing.
Bummer for you.
Yeah. Wow. Thanks a lot, kid. Way to bring it all home. So pathetic I can't even buy a magical healing Healing, by the way, root, which isn't even a thing. I mean, where are your parents? Are you scared to be in the middle of nowhere all alone? I mean, I'm scared of everything all the time, and you're just sitting here with your stupid roots. I mean, what the hell is a root anyway? Like a carrot? A stupid carrot?
Carrots are strictly for political ambitions.
Great.
Listen, you seem crazy, but nice, mostly.
Thanks. You too.
Thanks. So, I never do this. It's terrible for my bottom line. But for you, today, I'm going to give you a magical healing root on the house. You really seem like you need it.
That's so pathetic.
Yeah. Here you go.
Ew. No.
Eat the radish. More.
Oh.
Just pop it in and eat it.
Hello? Are you serious? Over asking? Well, how much over? Oh. Wow. Okay. Bye. No way.
Way.
What else you got back there?
The resurrected. Women voices often go unheard behind male voices, muffled by the needs and the wants of others. Home wasn't safe before COVID, and now it's a living hell. All around, women and girls yell as violence continues to raise its ugly head to an even higher level. Many fear and dread. Often they cry in silence. No one hears or sees, leaving these ladies with no one to grieve. Abused and withered, they soothe their wounds. Then the next day, anger hits the floor like a broom. Nowhere to turn, nowhere to go. They live in fear. Violence all around, all around. It's near. Mental and physical abuse In home, COVID on the rise. Everybody consumed with COVID. They don't hear her cries. Scared to share, remains suffering due to shame. Many nights she lay in bed, grieving and lame. Heart pains, blistering sweat salt on an open wound. Life constantly flashes before her face, an old familiar tune, telling herself it is her fault, living in a daze, with a partner violent and half crazed. Behind these doors, she cries for mercy and hope. Restraining orders do not work. They excite the crazed. Many have lost their lives, now resting in their graves. Calling the cop for help to take her away. Where did she go? Where did she stay? With COVID, there's no place. Where can she lay her head? Telling the cop, no, she'll stay back instead. Some days she feels like taking her life, with a cut to her heart with a knife. But one day, one reason no one knows. Instead, she said, she rose up like the warrior instead, took back her life as she walked away, never looking back on that horrible day. Step by step, she found the strength. And with a heart, no one will ever have free rent. She's resurrected, and resurrected is she. She took back her life. Now she's resurrected.
America is grounded, and the birds have returned. When I saw the images of jets parked at the airplane graveyard outside of Phoenix, I burst into tears. They had been flown there in the aftershock of news about the coronavirus, and now they were all lined up in the drylands, where so many of our dreams and vehicles are preserved forever. Seeing the planes in that regard was the first time that I fully realized the plague was upon us. The nation that had invented flight, gone to the moon, broken the sound barrier, was now grounded. Our planes were almost empty. There would be no reprised late-night jokes about who did or did not press the stewardess call button. No singing flight attendants on Southwest Airlines to brighten our time on crowded flights. No pilots with the right stuff, suggesting we look out the windows on the left of the plane if we wanted to see the Grand Canyon, or letting us know that we were coming in for an approach and might encounter some headwinds, or that our estimated time of arrival was in 10 minutes, right on schedule, maybe even a little ahead of it, and thanking us for flying on that airline. For the first time, our great American dream of escape was foreclosed. But my sadness was tied up with something else. I experienced a cataclysmic upheaval as a child, and airports were a significant part of it. I was a little girl when my parents got divorced, and my mother, sister, and I moved from a well-to-do part of town to a neighborhood where people eked out a living at blue-collar jobs and were considered pariahs by those in our previous zip code. Suddenly, we couldn't afford vacations. Instead, we would spend a long weekend every summer at the airport hotel. This was because we liked watching the planes take off, signifying the places we would go and the things we would do when we got there. We never said it like this, but the underlying theme was, will we ever get out of Dodge, or Cleveland in this case? Our hometown had become a place where people called my mother a divorcee, as in slut, as in Barbara Stanwyck movies, and I was thought to be pursuing a Mrs. degree, MRS degree, for wanting to go to college. As soon as it got warm enough, we would check into the Cleveland Hopkins Hotel and go swimming. You see, it had a swimming pool, and we also liked to swim. My mother had been a lifeguard in high school and was, in fact, quite an athlete, an equestrienne par excellence. She had gotten a job at Thistledown Racetrack after my parents split up, becoming one of the first women in the country to ride professionally as an exercise boy, the hardy souls who worked out thoroughbreds in the morning before their subsequent races. This job was a big deal at the time, and she became something of a novelty, attracting the attention of the local paper and the parents of some of my friends whose perceptions that my mother was weird because of not having a husband was amplified by her choice of employment. At the airport hotel, all of that fell away. It was easy to watch planes taking off then. There was no security, no mobs of people waiting to check in or coming off planes. There was simply the joy of possibility. I remember standing on the observation deck and watching jets come in from where, I would guess, according to the airline, there was TWA, probably from New York or beyond. There was United from Denver, perhaps, or San Francisco or Seattle. There was a rhythm to the announcements, which were flashing on boards and on the public address system, and there was a comfort in the departures, too. The insignia on the wings were so close as the planes took off, and I was transfixed by all of them. There was some sort of fierce bird that accompanied Eastern Airlines' Fly the Silver Fleet, the slogan, and then there was the majestic eagle of American Airlines fame, both conjuring an ascent from the earth to the heavens, suggesting what the planes were about to do any minute now. These modern pictographs were accompanied by sound as well. Many of the planes I observed from the deck were not jets, but had propellers, and watching and listening to each of the engines rev and the propellers turn and then turn faster until the plane was ready for takeoff was somehow enchanting. I guess the sound was part of the wonder, and it signaled promise and a new life somewhere out there. And then from the deck I followed each plane as it headed over Lake Erie and its endless chop, and then higher and higher through a cloud bank and on to points across the land, and maybe someday I would be up there too, heading for a new place where I could start over, go home to a self that had been taken away. I was planning a great escape, to where it did not matter, though wide open spaces with cactus and red rock mesas were often part of the picture. For my high school graduation present, I had requested a suitcase with my initials on it, and on that day, there it was, the travel-sized blue tourister I had long dreamed of, emblazoned with DS on a badge. Soon after that, I flew away. I returned to the nest from time to time, but of course it was never the same. One day my mother left too, flying away to Manhattan to join me, a place she had longed to live for many years. And later, my sister left too. We kind of all went our separate ways, coming together for special occasions and holidays and disasters. But for me, at least, nothing could compare to those days at the airport hotel. I like walking and hiking, and have hiked the trails of the desert west and southwest for a long time. I take great pleasure in communing with the flora and fauna and the sights and sounds. If there's a tortoise, I say hi, and if there's a lizard, I say hey, and they return the greeting, though not all the time. Sometimes Joshua trees dish out advice and baseball news. After all, the desert is the eternal ballpark. And if these trees can't have the last word, then what's the point? One of the things I like listening to more than anything is birdsong. In the desert, you can count on the chittering of cactus wrens in the morning and the call of other winged creatures throughout the day and into the night. Listen up, the ravens are talking. Did you hear that screech owl? Nowadays, sitting in my yard in Los Angeles, I can't think of a time when I have heard so much birdsong. Most cars are parked and there's no traffic. The birds are singing all day long, and I like it. This is going on all over the country, the world, as many proclaim, delighted, that we are returning to the land and the skies of the before time, not just before the virus, but before the embrace of ways that have severed us from the natural world. Several years ago, I had a dream about a falcon. It swooped down low, right across my face, and I felt the air move, and I could make out the design of its feathers as it slowed down for a moment, and then it ascended out of my sight line and sleep. I awoke startled in wonderment. I had had other dreams of wild things in the past, but none of that involved such close proximity. At the time, I'd been weighing an important decision involving a move from one city to another, a flight in every sense, and I received the visit from this raptor as a sign to swoop down and make the choice without hesitation, a departure and return of the heart. Before the virus was fully made known in California, I dreamed of a falcon again. It appeared this time at a slightly different angle, and the feeling of the dream was that an ally had returned. I wasn't sure what to make of it in the days that followed, and I'm still not. But here's what I know. From birds we have learned to sing and fly. We can all imagine our ancestors listening to the caws and whistles and deciding to copy them because it was pleasant and our own songs carried a message to others of our kind. Certainly, the human heart has long desired to soar, and when we were able, we copied the thing that winged creatures do. We studied their flight patterns, learned all about air circulation under and above their wings, came to understand the mechanics of feathers, and sometimes appreciate the beauty. And then, after we had designed our own versions of them, we joined them in the air for pleasure and for war, sometimes assigning our jet names such as Eagle and Osprey and Falcon, and gathering to watch our very own sky warriors fly in formation during ceremonies and holidays and tributes. If birds glide for long periods of time, then why can't I? Said Orville Wright, as he and his brother Wilbur toiled away on their invention of the first airplane. We can and we have, and now we have come in for a hard landing. As I listen to the birds in the trees around me, I try to understand what they are saying. I check out bird-watching websites and visit archives where their songs are forever preserved. Did you know that their songs are a language, conveying messages regarding territory and what to watch out for, and locations of mates? Kind of like our own songs, I guess, but without crowds and amplifiers. I wish my mother were around to hear them, I think, for she too loved what was wild and free. On the other hand, I would not want her to experience this troublesome time in a modern plague, and I'm sure it's for the best that she passed away almost 2 years ago. And I hold ever close those days at the airport hotel, where she made sure I witnessed the path of escape and gave me that suitcase so I could get out of Dodge.
All alone and running out of time, as I pay for someone else's crime. The gods have all decided, but don't I get a say? Couldn't they forgive and let me live another day? But then the sunlight pierces through the cloudy sky, and in the sunlight I imagine that I'm warm and dry. It's only for a moment's all I have now. The light's about to disappear. pay a price. They want blood and I'm their sacrifice. Will anyone come help me? They've left me here to die. Don't let this be my end without a friend to say goodbye. But as the waves crash, I'm finding that the water's warm. So let the waves crash. I'm ready for the coming storm. Someone has to hear me, someone has to listen. No, I will not give in to fear. So if anyone's there, is anyone there? Can you hear me? I'm stranded out here on my own. So come and find me and show me that I'm not alone. I know it doesn't fit the ending that's been written, but somehow I will persevere. Please, if anyone's there, if anyone's there, I'm here.
In 2019, in addition to winning the World Cup, the U.S. women's national soccer team drove equal pay into the headlines by suing the U.S. Soccer Federation. The reason? Their pay was only 25% of what the men's team earned. These champions are the latest in a long line of activists who have fought for this right for nearly 200 years. The story of equal pay in the US is the story of women's fight for recognition of the value of their work. It's a story that cannot be told without its stark predecessor, no pay at all. Prior to the Civil War, the nation was reliant on the unpaid work of enslaved African Americans. Women who were working for pay, poor white farm girls turned factory workers, immigrants, and free African Americans, were relegated to the lowest rung. Their wages, 50% or less of men's, became the property of their husbands or fathers. As early as the 1840s, they formed organizations and held strikes to protest low pay, long hours, and unsafe working conditions. Although the concept of equal pay was far from the collective consciousness, women were well aware that their work was seen as less than a man's. Abolitionists like Sojourner Truth fought for the freedom of African Americans and the recognition of women's work. I have done a great deal of work, as much as a man, but did not get so much pay. We do as much, we eat as much, we want as much. Sojourner Truth. In 1845, Lucy Stone, a student teacher at Oberlin College in Ohio, staged what may have been the first strike for equal pay in America. At lower wages, Stone had to work many more hours than her male peers to afford the school's tuition. She began a months-long protest, and the college eventually agreed to equal pay for all student teachers. In 1865, with the abolition of slavery, 3.9 million African Americans were emancipated and gained the opportunity for economic independence. But they joined the paid labor force at a pittance, as ingrained racism restricted them to predominantly agricultural and domestic work. At the same time, the Industrial Revolution that had begun in the early 1800s gained steam. Waves of rural young women and immigrants from all over the world toiled up to 72 hours a week in the homes of the well-to-do or in dust-choked garment factories, canneries, and mills, still at 50% or less of what men were paid. At least by the late 1800s, most women, married or single, could keep the money they earned. In response to low wages, sweatshop conditions, and 14-hour days, women such as Chicago seamstress and union activist Lucy Parsons organized on behalf of workers' rights. She led marches of garment workers in the late 19th and early 20th centuries and helped establish the industrial workers of the world, which fought for higher pay, shorter days, and safer conditions. In 1909, shirtwaist workers of New York's garment district led the largest American women's strike yet, as many as 20,000, for better conditions and higher pay. But workers' rights and equal pay were not popular causes. Then came the World Wars. During World War I, women filled the factory jobs of men turned soldiers, but most were paid reduced wages. At the same time, African American women were, in larger numbers, able to take office and manufacturing positions. After World War I, spurred on by continuing deplorable working conditions, the Women's Trade Union League gained strength and bargaining power. This was due to organizers such as hatmaker Rose Schneiderman, who encouraged African American, Jewish, and Puerto Rican workers to join. In 1938, workers' rights advocate Frances Perkins, President Franklin Roosevelt's Secretary of Labor, helped push through the Fair Labor Standards Act. This finally established a national minimum wage, an 8-hour workday, and time and a half over 40 hours a week. Unfortunately, this law excluded agriculture, domestic labor, serving staff, and retail workers, effectively denying workplace protections to many women and people of color. During World War II, 19 million women of diverse backgrounds broke gender barriers and filled the jobs previously held by men. To prevent a strike, the National War Labor Board mandated that the 3 million women working in the defense industries receive the same pay as men for the same job. For the first time, the federal government supported equalizing the status of male and female workers. Once World War II ended, many women returned to the roles of wives and mothers. Those who stayed in the labor force out of economic necessity, many African Americans, immigrants, and working-class white women, were largely prevented from holding the same jobs as men. Therefore, trade union feminists focused on achieving comparable pay for comparable jobs. Even the better jobs available to women, secretaries, clerical workers, nurses, teachers, and telephone operators, routinely paid 50% of a man's wage. Racial discrimination in pay also was ubiquitous. In the 1940s, Sue Cowan Williams, an Arkansas high school teacher, represented African American teachers in a class action lawsuit against the Little Rock School District, challenging salary discrepancies based on race. Williams won the case on appeal. In 1944, Republican Congresswoman Winifred Stanley, a lawyer from New York, introduced the first equal pay legislation. It did not pass. From 1945 to 1963, equal pay legislation was introduced in every session of Congress, only to fail each time. But the call for change was growing across racial, religious, gender, and class lines. And finally, in 1963, at a time when 43% of all women were working at a rate of 60 cents to every dollar, the tide turned. Longtime union organizer Esther Peterson, director of the Women's Bureau of the Department of Labor, urged President John F. Kennedy to establish the first National Commission on the Status of Women. As a result of the commission's findings, the Equal Pay Act was passed in 1963. Finally, under the law, women's work was worth the same as men's.
Every company in the United States, and certainly stimulate governmental leadership in providing equal pay and equal conditions for women. We can do a much better job on that.
In 1964, President Lyndon Johnson signed the Civil Rights Act, outlawing employment discrimination by race and gender. These two crucial laws gave women a springboard towards economic independence, access to higher income jobs, and legal support to earn the same wages as men. Over the course of the next 40 years, more women of all ethnicities and socioeconomic backgrounds entered the labor force in higher income fields, virtually exclusive to men, like medicine, business, law, policing, plumbing, and firefighting. Equal pay became an issue championed by the working class, as well as the growing professional class of women. However, addressing pay differences in the workplace presented a considerable risk, and many women kept silent for fear of losing their jobs. In 2009, with 59% of American women working, and the pay differential for women still languishing at 77% of men's salaries, President Obama signed the Lilly Ledbetter Fair Pay Act. This law gave women more rights to take action against their employers, no matter how long they had endured unequal pay.
I signed this law because I want young women like my own daughters to have chances and opportunities that my mom and grandmother never could have dreamed of.
To ensure compliance, President Obama also issued an executive order in 2014 requiring all federal contractors to report their wages every 6 months. President Trump, however, rescinded this order before it could take effect. The fight continues. Over the past 50 years, although the pay gap has narrowed, it has not closed. In 2017, actress Michelle Williams discovered that for reshooting scenes in Ridley Scott's film All the Money in the World, she had been paid less than $1,000, while her co-star Mark Wahlberg was paid $1.5 million. Ever since, she has been a vocal advocate for equal pay. Today, American women still earn, on average, 80 cents for every dollar that men earn. For women of color, the gap is even larger. Black women typically earn 61 cents, Native women 58 cents, and Latinas 53 cents to every dollar paid to their white male counterparts. Over a lifetime, the wage gap for women can add up to a difference of more than $1 million. In the story of equal pay, the next chapter depends on you.
Since you were a girl, it's been an unfair world, trying to get what's yours, all that you deserve. You worked hard in school, acquired every tool, but they make you feel like you're some dumb fool. Girl, I'm talking to you. It's time to end this nonsense. Girl, inside your heart, it might be time to start anew. You work a lot of hours and you feel devoured by the ones who think that they have all the power. You're smarter than the boys who make a lot of noise. You do more than them, yet they get all the toys. You're worried if you speak, you'll get a lot of heat for opening your mouth, for not being weak. You're scared that you will drown, turn things upside down if you make these waves for stealing your crown. Girl, I'm talking to you. It's time to end this nonsense. Girl, inside your heart, it might be time to start. It's time to speak up, speak up, speak up. 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 I said speak up, speak up, speak up. Speak up, speak up, speak up. Speak up, up, speak up, speak up, speak up. You gotta ask for more, bust through those doors, forget what they'll say and get what is yours. Stop being shy, get your piece of pie. The ceiling's not that high, you can touch the sky. Girl, I'm talking to you. Now is the time to start. Now is the time to start. Now is the time to start anew.
Thank you for attending this show, and to everyone who worked so hard and contributed to putting it together. Please consider a donation at this time for the artists featured in this event and for the ongoing work of the coalition.
Life lurch left, abdication into hibernation. How did I get here? Cut off from the world, behind a mask, beneath a blanket, like a baby girl. Loss, loneliness, isolation, the year of hibernation. Things are gonna get easier. How did we get here? Each in our little lair. Gone, all we thought was real. No way to get back there. Fright, forbearance, fermentation. The year of hibernation. Things are gonna get easier. Shall things will be brighter. What we believed in is what we create.